I'm fly on them. My little niggas on my corner, they rap too, they trap too. Pull up broad day, you know the raw way. With the raw play, bap bap you. Lil Mocha said in D.R.C. Beto and Brian just call me. Uptown Bees and Lil Jeremy, look at my brother Sprite, no talking. Bring apples out, pass by your house, December feeling like August. Pulling up on Murder Street, my uncle's clutching revolvers. Hear anything about Hollis Green, you play with that, I'm gon' off you. 20 years in, rap puss and got in the game, I'm hawking. Audemars, I'm ballin'.
What's up? So, got on the scale a little early this week. Just feeling pretty good about the way things have been going, and I know that I've been dieting or eating really close to perfectly. So, you know, it was just one of those days where I felt good. I looked a little better in the mirror than I've noticed in the last few days, or felt better about how I looked anyway. And weighed myself early. I usually weigh myself on Saturdays for Paul and Tanya, and I was 311.4. So started this whole weight loss around 348, and I'm at 311.4. The ultimate goal being 308 for Tattooed and Strong. I have not been that weight since 2013, and then my goal is actually 300. So what I'm hoping to do is these next 3 weeks or so continue the diet, push myself, and hopefully weigh in, you know, or be walking around truly at 304, 305 by the time I get to England. And you know, just for the simple satisfaction of completing a goal, I would like to probably the day before the competition, you know, just strip some water out and maybe not eat a few meals before weigh-ins, not before the competition, before weigh-ins, strip some water out and miss a couple meals at the end of the day, and hopefully step on the scale at 300 or 299 or something like that. And that is my number one goal for this competition. Was I'm not going to be 100% at my strength level, so because I've only had a very short time since my last surgery, recovery, all that stuff to get ready for this comp. So I wanted to hit good numbers, but I also wanted to hit good numbers healthier. So as I posted on Instagram and on Facebook, I'm a living example of doing a lot of things wrong in this sport. The good thing is, or the hopefully good thing is that I've become aware of those things. You know, I used to be a guy that took pride in running myself into the ground, you know, having that hardcore mentality of, you know, you never complain, you never miss a day, you just get as big as you can, as fast as you can, as strong as you can, whatever. And you know, I didn't take myself seriously as an athlete. I started working with athletes, started working more in a collegiate type setting, and you know, the guys that were in the nutrition side, the guys that were in the training side were kind of monitoring a lot of the things that I do, and they're like, man, you would probably feel so much better if you did some things. So that was kind of the foundation point. Well, the injury happened, and then I started working with these collegiate level athletes and so on, and they're like, the human performance spectrum, you know, was really pushing me to start thinking about a lot of different things, seeing how athletes perform just on calorie differences. I mean, I would see an athlete, and we were doing omega waves, the GPS training and that kind of stuff, and I would see some of this information, and you know, the numbers were very dependent based on hydration, nutrition, sleep, so on. So when you're looking at, you know, a multitude of athletes that are getting positive feedback when they start doing more things positively, it started planting the seed within myself that maybe this hardcore mentality, like all out at all costs, isn't the best way. I can be really hardcore because I'm strict on my diet. I can be really hardcore by pushing myself to the proper limit in the gym, not going over it. So, you know, I started taking all this stock of all these things, and I started trying to apply that to myself. And now at 311 pounds, even though I've had all the surgeries, 13 surgeries, I'm now doing things again for the first time since my injury. I'm able to start jumping now. I'm able to start doing more than a walk. I'm able to start getting a little bit of a gait so that possibly very soon I'll be able to jog or even run one day. And, you know, I know that doesn't sound important for a powerlifter, but when you can't do it, it becomes the only thing that you want to do. So I would love to be able to get outside and run around and kick a soccer ball with my son, or throw baseball, whatever it is, just having the ability to live. So got a CPAP, huge, unbelievable difference. I can tell you, I don't remember a time in the last 5 or 6 years really that I woke up and I didn't feel like I was exhausted. And now, I'm sleeping 5 to 6 hours dead straight, like no wake ups, no nothing. And then I'll, get up, maybe go to the bathroom and come back to bed and get another hour or so of uninterrupted sleep. And I feel awesome. Like, I feel really, really good. And I feel like my recovery has improved. I feel like my mentality has improved. I feel like I think more clearly, and it all goes back to oxygenation of the brain. I mean, let's just be honest. Start looking at oxygen deprivation, and you look at some of the stuff from sleep apnea. And guys, I'm telling you, if you're 250 pounds plus, unless you're walking around at 10% body fat, and I mean really 10% body fat, and maybe even then, but if your neck is in excess of 17 or 18 inches, it puts a lot of constriction on the ability to breathe. So if you can lose a little weight, lose a little weight. I mean, I'm down 30 something pounds, and I haven't really had that big knock in strength, actually, because I'm more energetic, I'm feeling better, I'm able to train harder, I'm able to train more enthusiastically. So I think the trade-off is I was a fat ass, but I could move weight because I was leveraging it, whereas now I'm actually to move the weight athletically. I'm able to move the weight athletically and enjoy the training because I'm not dying in between every set. I'm not huffing and puffing, just trying to catch my breath so I don't pass out. The other thing, eating better. If you consider yourself wanting to be one of the best in the world, the question that I ask you is, if you're chasing somebody, let's say you're chasing, a Dan Green or a Kevin Oak or an Andre Milanichev or whatever it is, and in reality, the majority of us aren't going to be there, but we should strive to do what they do. And most of us that have a job have a choice. The other day, I'm sitting here in a row of fast food, and it's, McDonald's, Wendy's, Burger King, so on. And I go down here to Chipotle, and I got a Chipotle bowl, double meat, peppers, beans. I didn't have any rice that meal. But anyway, what I'm saying is, going a little bit further down the road and $1.50 more for the meal or whatever, I got a much healthier, better food choice. And I feel like you need to make the awareness that everything you put in your mouth, if you have an income, if you have a job, is a choice. Do you put this pizza in your mouth, or do you put this high quality chicken breast, broccoli, and rice? I mean, yeah, it takes a little more effort, but you have a choice. And at the end of the day, I would like to be able to say that I'm doing everything I can to be the best. And if you're eating like shit, if you're not sleeping well, if you're not doing the things to improve those areas, then you're not doing everything to be the best. You can take all the drugs in the world, you can train your ass off, but somebody out there is doing it harder, doing it better, doing it bigger. So that's the thing, is if you're trying to catch somebody, you better be covering all your bases. Lastly, as you saw in the beginning, I did the front squat, and I'm loving the front squat because it's working exactly what I'm trying to fix in my legs. I feel a lot of good strain in the quad tendons. Like, I feel them firing again, and I'm actually feeling the entire quad fatiguing and working. And the reason being is because the ribs are staying stacked, the spine is staying straight, and the quads are actually pushing forward, which I'm trying to do. The reason I don't want to use a safety squat bar or continue back squatting primarily is because when the butt goes back and the back starts to lean, the emphasis is switched to my glutes and my hamstrings. And when that safety squat bar is on your chest, it allows you to round the upper back a little bit, and I tend to push my butt back. So by having the bar and having to push myself high, I have to stack myself up. And that is what promotes the proper form for my quad tendon. So a lot of people were saying, hey, why don't you, I actually made a post on Instagram talking about how I was having bar roll. So a lot of guys have made the suggestion of using like a Duffalo bar or a Buffalo bar, and I'll probably go that route rather than a safety squat bar. But something I'm probably going to do today or tomorrow is actually use a Smith machine, not because I find it superior, but just for that stability. And if I can use that stability up top and really focus on training the legs where I need them to be trained for overall recovery, then that's what I'm going to do. But I'm thinking the Smith machine right across the front, still stacking the ribs, but maybe even a slightly, and I'm talking maybe an inch or so forward toe position or foot position to allow the knee to be more in like a true flexion and bend. That's really going to put a little more emphasis on the lower portion of the quad near the quad tendon. So I would chalk today up to a day that pissed me off in the gym. I was mad. I was really frustrated, and used to, when I was done, that would carry over until my next workout, or it might even carry over for the rest of the week. And in reality, I need to ask you a question. If you go in and you have a perfect workout, does that make you automatically stronger? So why? And the answer is no. Like, you probably got better, but it doesn't change the fact that it doesn't make you PR ultimately because you had one good workout. So just because you have one bad workout doesn't mean that everything that you've done to this point goes to waste. I wanted to do sets with 145 kilos, which is 319 pounds, 4 sets of 5 to 8. For whatever reason, I was only able to hold the bar for 2 reps at a time. And I did some sets that way. I felt the work, but it frustrated me because I wasn't able to do what I wanted to do. And for me, it's important. I feel like I have goals and I want to attain them. So I left pissed off. But you know what I did? Instead of ruining the entire workout, I did the rest of my accessory work and killed it. Like, I really, really pushed myself on the accessory work to make up for that one bad exercise. So yeah, I could be pissed off. I could be like moaning and groaning, but I got the work in. I got a lot of good work in. And the fact that I did 10 reps with 319 broken up over 5 sets versus 319 for 2 sets of 5 or 1 set of 8, I still did the amount of reps that I went to. But now the next time I go in, I need to do 319 for 3 sets of 3, or something like that. Just continue to get better. So try to keep positive. Try to always make a good day out of a bad day. And if you do that, you're going to be all right. I promise you. So thanks for watching. See you guys next time.